Thank you. Before we get started, I just want to say, so they always ask, oh, what's your title? It really doesn't matter because it's not about one person or anyone. It's about everybody here that's been doing this through multiple administrations, something that I really like, seeing how I don't really agree with either party. But I want to say thank you to everybody that's ever stood out here and spoke the truth. And that's what this is about. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't like the truth because it hurts feelings. I actually put together a prayer specifically for this occasion. And I'll do it in Lakota because I'm Lakota. And then I'll translate it, and then we'll do a blessing song. Ho wankan tonka yo tunkashila yo ate. Awanyanka inamaka. Awanyanka shakpeo yate. Awanyanka oyate teho. Awanyanka winan. Awanyanka chanchi. Awanyanka wichasha. Hohechi tuala mitako isa. Oh, Great Spirit, I ask you, you are our grandfather and our father. Bless our mother, the Mother Earth. Bless the 6 sacred grandfathers. I ask that you make all men walk in peace. That you make all women respected and in peace. You make all children respected and in peace. And you make man finally decide to walk with respect and in peace. The song I picked is actually a thank you song to the Great Spirit, Wankan Tonka. Ate Wankan Tonka he awelo he. Ate Wankan Tonka he awelo he. Ate Wankan Tonka oshimala yo. Oyate, oyate, jane chikelo, ea wani ya hello. Ate wankan tonka ea welo he. Ate wankan tonka ea welo he. Ate wankan tonka oshimala yo. Oyate, oyate, jane chikelo, ea wani ya hello. Ate wankan tonka oshimala yo. Oyate, oyate, zane chikelo, ea wani ya hello. Ate wankan tonka ea welo he. Ate wankan tonka ea welo he. Ate wankan tonka oshimala yo. Oyate, oyate, zane chikelo, ea wea hea o. Ate wankan tonka oshimala yo. Oyate, oyate, zane chikelo, ea wani ya hello. Basically, we just sang and asked the Great Spirit to make all of us walk in blessing and in peace. And thank you for having me.
This is the day we say no more. No more bailouts and no more war. No more killing on foreign shores. Today we say no more. working folks rise up and say, tax the rich and make them pay. Today we say no more. This is the day we all decide who is on the people's side. Today's the day we turn the tide. Today we say no more. This is the day we take a stand in Washington and all the land, and stand together hand in hand. Today we say no more.
And next, Cassandra Robertson is going to share a song with us.
Cassandra.
And it's her birthday.
Whoa! To you, happy birthday, dear Cassandra. Happy birthday to you.
You too. It's your birthday too. Come here.
I get serenaded too. I want to serenade you for my birthday. This is my favorite thing to do in the world. And this song was written for you specifically. This is for what you just said, how we have been in the streets already. We have been in the streets for decades and decades to ask and request for a different way that is good for all people. And I so appreciate your heart and your feet and being off your butt. And this song is a dedication to you. And if you know any of my music at any point, you are just so welcome to sing along. This song is called Future as I See It, and so I thank you. Here's to the ones who've come before us. Here's to the ones who will come next. Here's to the ones who left a legacy of a life lived well, with nothing left. Here's to the ones who dared to stand up and be counted when it counted most. Here's to the ones who said, if not me, then who, and who are you to take that choice for equality and peace. It's for the animals and the habitat and the trees, for the abused and the mistreated. Well, it's the future as I see it. And you speak for those who have no voices, and you stand for those who cannot walk, and you rise when everything has fallen, and you stay solid as a rock for equality and peace. It's for the animals and the habitat and the seas, for the abused and the mistreated. Well, it's the future as I see it. to those who felt forgotten, and to those we love who risk it all. Here's to those who felt they'd fallen, and to those who just wish upon a falling star. For equality and peace, it's for the animals and the habitat and the bees, for the abused, the diseased and mistreated. Well, it's the future as I see it. So we stand up for this earth and for all the life that lives on her. And we are strong 'cause we belong to a long line of heroes whose time has come. To a long line of heroes whose time has come. Whose time has come. Whose time has come. Whose time has come. Equality and peace. It's for the animals and the habitat and the seas. For the abused, the diseased and mistreated. Well, it's the future as I see it. Yes, it's the future as I see it. Oh, it's the future as I see it. Yes, it's the future, come and be it.
Before we begin the readings from Martin Luther King's speech of 50 years ago, I'd like to honor another much longer running Action for Peace. One that's believed to be one of the longest running vigils in the world. That vigil is held right here every day. The vigil was begun by Alternatives to War on October 7th, 2001, the day the U.S. began bombing Afghanistan. And it has been held every day since then, including today. And those folks would be glad to have you join them any day from 5 to 6 p.m. So let's hear it for Ed Epley and his companions.
All right. This week marks 2 anniversaries in relationship to war. One being on Thursday, and that's the 100th year anniversary of when the United States declared war on Germany. The second is that 50 years ago, today, on April 4th, 1967, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his Beyond Vietnam speech to a group of clergy and laity opposed to the war in Vietnam. In his speech, he denounces the scourges of poverty, racism, and militarism, which I believe is the true axis of evil. Exactly 1 year later, on April 4th, 1968, he was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, while organizing alongside black sanitation workers and preparing to launch the Poor People's Campaign. It's been 50 years today. It's been 50 years, and the U.S. is still at war in many countries. I saw a sign with some numbers on it. Now, number 45 wants to increase military spending to over 60% of the federal discretionary budget. While, say boo, yeah. While gutting domestic spending on programs that serve the American people. Last weekend's news revealed that week by week and country by country, the Pentagon is quietly seizing more control over warfare decisions. The Pentagon, more and more. It's been sending troops to war in hundreds, week by week, rather than by thousands, so as to not catch the public's eye, and with little public debate. And they keep seeking and getting greater and greater authority. And then yesterday, Defense Secretary Mattis said that he was going to propose this week for the U.S. to enter into directly engage, that's what he said, directly engage in U.S. military action in Yemen. And I will finish my part, and Bart, you'll be next, with a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King. He said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." Everywhere.
From Dr. King's speech in 1967. It seemed as if there was a real promise of hope for the poor, both black and white, through the poverty program. There were experiments, hopes, and new beginnings. Then came the build-up in Vietnam, and I watched this program broken and eviscerated as if it were some idle political plaything of a society gone mad on war. And I knew that America would never invest the necessary funds or energies in rehabilitation of its poor, so long as adventures like Vietnam continued to draw men and skills and money like some demonic, destructive suction tube. So I was increasingly compelled to see war as an enemy of the poor and to attack it as such.
Reading on from his speech, as I have walked among the desperate, rejected, angry young men, I have told them that Molotov cocktails and rifles would not solve their problems. I have tried to offer them my deepest compassion while maintaining my conviction that social change comes most meaningfully through nonviolent action. But they asked, and rightly so, what about Vietnam? They asked if our own nation wasn't using massive doses of violence to solve its problems, to bring about the changes it wanted. Their questions hit home, and I knew that I could never again raise my voice against the violence of the oppressed in ghettos without having first spoken clearly to the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today, my own government. For the sake of those boys, for the sake of this government, for the sake of hundreds of thousands trembling under our violence, I cannot be silent. We are called to speak for the weak, for the voiceless, for the victims of our nation, for those it calls enemy. For no document from human hands can make these humans any less our brothers.
I am convinced that if we are to get on to the right side of the world revolution, we as a nation must undergo a radical revolution of values. We must rapidly begin the shift from a thing-oriented society to a person-oriented society. When machines and computers, profit motives and property rights are considered more important than people, the giant triplets of racism, extreme materialism, and militarism are incapable of being conquered. The war in Vietnam is but a symptom of a far deeper malady within the American spirit. And if we ignore this sobering reality, we will find ourselves organizing clergy and layman concerned committees for the next generation. We will be marching and attending rallies without end unless there is a significant and profound change in American life and policy.
We can no longer afford to worship the god of hate or bow before the altar of retaliation. The oceans of history are made turbulent by the ever-rising tides of hate. History is cluttered with the wreckage of nations and individuals that pursued this self-defeating path of hate. As Arnold Toynbee says, love is the ultimate force that makes for the saving choice of life and good against the damning choice of death and evil. Therefore, the first hope in our inventory must be the hope that love is going to have the last word. We still have a choice today: non-violent coexistence or violent co-annihilation. We must move past indecision to action. We must find new ways to speak for peace in Vietnam and justice throughout the developing world, a world that borders on our doors. If we do not act, we shall surely be dragged down the long, dark, and shameful corridors of time, reserved for those who possess power without compassion, might without morality, and strength without sight.
So I'm going to conclude the reading. There we go. Thank you. Now let us begin, and let us rededicate ourselves to the long and bitter, but beautiful, struggle for a new world. This is the calling of the sons of God and our brothers, and I think he's referring to the troops in Vietnam there. Wait eagerly for our response. Shall we say the odds are too great? Shall we tell them the struggle is too hard? Will our message be that the forces of American life mitigate against their arrival as full men, and we send our deepest regrets? Or will there be another message of longing, of hope, of solidarity with their yearnings, of commitment to their cause, whatever the cost? The choice is ours, and though we might prefer it otherwise, we must choose in this crucial moment of human history. I've been asked to give two other quotes from Dr. King, but I think I need to context them a bit. For one, Dr. King, after this speech, suffered a huge blowback from the establishment, the liberal establishment. And I was doing a little research today, and it noted that just before his assassination, a year later, he had his popularity or his approval by the American public had sunk to 75%, opposed what Dr. King was saying. I remember those times, and I'm sure some of us here remember them. Dr. King prefaced or started out his speech to the clergy and laymen concerned by noting the organizing paragraph of their call to come together. And he said, I found myself in full accord when I read its opening lines. A time comes when silence is betrayal. That time has come for us in relation to Vietnam
And I think the time has come for us in relation to many other issues. We face new issues that I think Dr. King would fully appreciate. Dr. King's final speech in Memphis, which I'm sure many of you have heard, and if you haven't, I would urge you to listen to it, completed an arc of thinking where he looked at the social issues, the political issues, and the economic issues that stood behind war and poverty. We have our own issues now that call us forward. Just think of healthcare, with its privatization of hospitals, big pharma, and the whole organization of human unhealth for the ever-increasing profits of the corporate elite. The transformation of the university, where now research departments are contracted out to corporate sponsors to do research. The public defunds, the state has defunded university support to such a degree that students now come out of the university with onerous debt. The threat of climate change, with the corporate elite refuting the evidence, downplaying the science. What they're doing is stalling us till the crisis is so obvious, they then step forward with their proposals for geoengineering that they can make a buck on. All the while they know what's going on. They're waiting for the opportunity to make that dollar. Trade deals that aren't about trade, but are about the corporate dominance of the international order. And lastly, I would just mention the private landscapes of forest on each side of the valley here. 80% dominated by Wall Street owners, now in the form of real estate investment trust and timber investment management organizations, an issue that hardly is spoken to in Oregon. Tying every issue together in today's struggle is the endless re-engineering of society and government to favor the further concentration of wealth and income. These were the issues that I think Senator Sanders spoke to and resonated so clearly in Oregon. So we have new times, we have new ways that the forces of darkness work to crush the human spirit. Dr. King was and remains an inspiration, because all the issues I just mentioned and more, in the words of Dr. King, this is our revolution, this is our struggle. Thank you.
Oh, can I have Cassandra and the grannies come up, please? And after the grannies are done, we would like everybody to come up front so they can get some pictures, okay?
Teach you as we go. Oh my goodness, that was deep stuff. Just want to remind us we are in unprecedented times. If you are feeling all spectrums, please allow that to happen. Let's be gentle on ourselves and kind to each other. This is not the direction I thought we were gonna go. This is a new chant I'm trying to write, or it's a sing-along. I'm trying to write some songs for these occasions because I have this seeking suspicion we are going to be gathering more and more in the coming year and maybe coming years, and we need to sing together. That's one thing that happened in Martin Luther King's time was you all raise your hand if you were in a march during that time. Thank you. And you sang together. So I've had a real desire to write some music. So this is one of the new ones I'm going to teach you. I hope it works good. I always write music that is envisioning what we want. So as we are singing, we are telling the gods and the earth and everyone around us what we are creating. So we're helping to create the future we wish for. So this song is in about it has 4 verses. Sing the same thing every time except for one line is different, and I'll call out that line. The one thing we sing the same every time is this. We are waking up so that we will protect. That's what we sing over and over. Let's try that a few times. We are waking up so that we will protect. We are waking up so that we will protect. One more time, I think you got it though. We are waking up so that we will protect. Okay, the first line is the earth and the water and the life it sustains. Here we go. We are waking up so that we will protect the earth and the water and the life it sustains. We are waking up so that we will protect the earth and the water and the life it sustains. We are waking up so that we will protect the earth and the water and the life it sustains. We are waking up. 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 Alright, same thing, but the new line is the poor and the hungry and the disadvantaged. We are waking up so that we will protect the poor and the hungry and the disadvantaged. We are waking up so that we will protect the poor and the hungry and the disadvantaged. We are waking up so that we will protect the poor and the hungry and the disadvantaged. We are waking up. 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 The next one is the babies and their children. It's their future at stake. We are waking up so that we will protect the babies and their children. It's their future at stake. We are waking up so that we will protect the babies and their children. It's the future at stake. We are waking up so that we will protect the babies and their children. It's the future at stake. We are waking up. 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 The last one is so that we may protect me and you and all the things we hold dear. We are waking up so that we will protect me and you and everything we hold dear. We are waking up so that we will protect me and you and everything we hold dear. We are waking up so that we will protect me